Hello everybody, it's your Lloyd Buggle, and today we're gonna be reviewing—
What are you doing?
Nothing.
Oh my god, I make one review and you're already trying to take over my channel. Get out of here! Sorry guys, I don't know what I'm gonna do with him. Anyway, welcome my friends and my many fucking enemies to Super Mario Odyssey. Super Mario Odyssey. Where do I even begin? I mean, the hype for this game was pretty high. When Super Mario 3D World released in 2013, many fans thought it was a good game, but over the years, many people were hoping for Mario to return to the open world formula that was introduced in 64 and expanded in Sunshine. Well, our hopes were answered as we got a trailer for Odyssey at the Nintendo Switch presentation on January 12, 2017. It showed Mario in many different open worlds, like a realistic city, a huge forest, Mexican-like desert, etc. Also the new ability where you throw your hat. But then Nintendo had to turn us from hyped up fans into hyperactive screaming girls when they revealed another trailer at E3 2017 featuring the new capture mechanic and a new vocal theme called Jump Up Superstar. So yeah, waiting for this game was torture for many fans, including myself. But Odyssey released on October 27, 2017, and your boy Fonzo got it on launch date. Is this game a fun experience to remember? Let's find out. First, the story. Bowser kidnaps Peach, Mario has to save her. The end. Good night, everybody! Okay, there's a bit more to it this time. So we get quick into the action as Mario's fighting Bowser to get Peach back. However, Bowser throws his big-ass hat at Mario, and Mario freaking who am I kidding? Everyone has made that joke already. So Bowser goes on his way planning a wedding for him and Peach. What in the bloody hell took you so long, man? Elsewhere, Mario is dead on the ground in another kingdom with a ghost hat thing trying to wake him up. Dude, he's clearly— okay, he's not dead. So the hat-like creature introduces himself as Cappy, and apparently Bowser has wrecked the Cap Kingdom along with taking his sister, Tiara. Mario and Cappy team up to find a ship they can use to chase Bowser through different kingdoms and rescue Peach and Tiara. This is a very simple story, but not without a little substance. I'd say the story is on the same level of Color Splash, with the occasional interactions between Cappy and Mario. It's not a deep story, but it doesn't need to be. The animations of the characters and the occasional one-liners make up for it. Oh yeah, and the ending with Peach rejecting Mario and Bowser. Mario's comforting Bowser. It's a simple story, but it works. I'd rather have a charming, simple story than a poorly written, slightly complex story. So as I mentioned before, Odyssey is taking the formula established in Super Mario 64 and Sunshine, where you need to collect important objects for your main quest. Like for example, in Sunshine you would do various missions to collect shine sprites to bring light back to Isle Delfino and to prove Mario's innocence to the townsfolk. However, Odyssey does this formula a little differently this time. Instead of there being a hub world that connects all the missions or levels together like in previous titles, you travel through different kingdoms chasing Bowser. Within each kingdom you find collectibles called Power Moons. With these, you power up your ship called the Odyssey to travel through each kingdom and collect more moons and repeat. To be honest, I think this approach works really well. There's no real need for a hub world considering the kingdoms you travel to are pretty sizable and don't need a hub world to connect them together. And before you say it, no, the Odyssey is not a hub world, it's just the ship you use to travel through the kingdoms. Plus, even though you're following a linear story, you don't have to go from kingdom to kingdom and leave it at that. If you unlock another kingdom, you can either just travel straight onto that one, or stay in the kingdom you're in and collect more moons, or go to a previous kingdom and collect some moons that you haven't found yet. It gives the players options, which is something I love in a video game. So as I was saying, the reason you're traveling through these kingdoms is to get this game's collectibles, Power Moons. Let me just say that these things for some reason are very satisfying to get. Even the easiest Power Moon you find has that feeling of, oh my god, fuck yeah! Anyway, to complete the main story, you only need about 90 moons. However, if you want to 100% the game, you can collect 999 moons! This gives you a lot of replayability after the main story, which is really appreciated. It just gives the player more to do when he thinks he's done. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that to my knowledge, you don't even need to do any of the missions when you get to a kingdom. All you really need to do is get enough moons to progress to the next kingdom, so you can find moons in hidden places or something instead of getting rid of a giant pimple. The open world formula overall works greatly here. I do wish some of the moons were more challenging to get, but that does not ruin the game for me, as there are still challenges in hidden places to get moons. Oh yeah, and since this game is more of an open world game, there are no game overs. Instead, when you die, you lose coins, which allow you to spend them in the shop to get costumes and stuff. Coins actually kind of matter in this game. I never thought I'd see the day. I've heard many people complain about how this makes the game easier since you don't have any game overs, but to be honest, they really aren't necessary in a game like this. Like, what's the point of making a decent amount of progress and collecting moons, only to get a game over and start over again? I'd be pretty pissed off if I were you. Going back to the kingdoms, they are really charming to me and bring a lot of life to the game. Each one really stands out in its own way. They all have brand new concepts for citizens and environments. Yes, there are elements of previous aesthetics, like Seaside Kingdom is kind of like a beach level, but by bringing new enemies and citizens that are exclusive to those kingdoms, they feel brand new. They are little things in the long run, but it still adds world building, which is always nice in a TV show or video game. I prefer this over the more linear approach in 3D Land and 3D World, hell, even the Galaxy games. I'm not saying this type of approach is objectively better, it really comes down to personal taste. And goddamn, I do love me some Galaxy too. Some of my favorite kingdoms include Metro, Luncheon, Sand, and Snow kingdoms. I love how out of place the Metro kingdom is. The whole point of this kingdom is to be so weird. I mean, Mario is in what's basically New York City, surrounded by realistic looking humans. And it's fucking weird. Oh yeah, and Pauline is there. 10 out of 10, best game since Hotel Mario.
And you got balls!
Luncheon Kingdom is basically what the name implies, a whole kingdom made of food. There are these fork locals which are like the best thing ever, and the lava looks like freaking strawberry milk and I just want to drink it. I don't care if I die, I've been wanting that my whole life. Plus, I kid you not, there are piles of salt. Now I truly am the salt god. Sand Kingdom, as unoriginal as the name is another kingdom that really sticks out to me. It's basically a big desert with a small Mexico-like village, and also has some Egypt-like architecture, with skull-like creatures as citizens. It's pretty cool. I didn't care much for the Snow Kingdom at first, but after going through it again, I started to really like it. The outside of it is basically the Arctic, but then there's this hole you go down, and it reveals an underground home? Well, okay, it has these snowball men walrus things, and they can bounce around wherever they go. Since they have this ability, they have events where they race using their bouncing abilities. I'm not gonna lie, that's actually pretty creative. Good job, Nintendo. I know I'm talking about these kingdoms way more than I should, but my point is, I think a lot of these kingdoms really stand out and feature some world building in the Mario franchise. Something we haven't been getting in a while. It's nothing complex, but it's still cool to see. Even the weakest kingdom has some charm to it. The weakest kingdom, in my opinion, is Lake Kingdom. It's not bad, but it feels very small and contained compared to the rest. It's still cool that the things that live there are basically mermaids. What else can I say? These kingdoms are just very fun to travel through, thanks to something we'll get to in a second. Overall, I love the kingdoms. I feel like if you're gonna have a world adventure, the places you go to should be fun to traverse through, and Odyssey is no exception to this. But of course, this isn't just some world adventure game. This is a Mayro world adventure game. And as a Mayro adventure game, it should be fun to traverse through these places with good control. And let me just say, this is the best control in a mainline 3D Mario game. First of all, Mario's moveset is huge! Many of his moves return from previous 3D titles. These include triple jump, long jump, side somersault, backward somersault, wall jump, ground pound, dive, and a sort of new roll move where you crouch, press Y, and you can just roll forever. Basically, Mario becomes fucking Sinnoh the Hoochek. Oh, but you think it ends there? Oh no! Remember Cappy? Well, obviously he is your companion in this game, so like Flood from Sunshine, he can expand your moveset. For example, with the dive, you can expand your action by throwing Cappy after you dive, and dive into Cappy and bounce off of him. Hell, you can do it twice! These kinds of things can expand your moveset and let you get to a platform in more ways than one. Like, in a lot of sections, you can either capture an enemy, which we'll get to in a minute, and use its abilities to get to a platform, or you could just use your hat tricks instead. It gives the player a, are there more ways than I could do this, type of situation. The power of options return! Mario's controls are so fun in Odyssey that this is one of those games where it's just fun to move around and mess with the controls. But expanding your already good moveset isn't the only thing Cappy can do. There is also the capture mechanic. What is the capture mechanic, you ask? Well, it's basically this game's gimmick where you throw Cappy onto an enemy, or pretty much anything, and you could rape take possession of them and use their abilities without their permission. Now, trust me when I say that capturing enemies is quite fun. It adds so much gameplay variety since you can use a lot of these host abilities to your advantage. So basically, if you ever wanted to be a hammer bro and finally give others a piece of your fucking mind, let's be honest, everyone has had that dream, then you can! There are many things you can capture. You can capture a Goomba, Bullet Bill, Hammer / Fire Bro, a Frog, Chain Chomp, Cheep Cheep, Tropical Wiggler, Parabones, the motherfucking T-Rex, and much more. Most of them control pretty well. The only one I'd say I don't like is Sherm. That's actually what it's called. I'm not kidding. Look it up. Like, it's cool to have a shooting capture, but I feel like controlling the camera for this one is quite clunky, and I will never get used to Y being the action button to shoot. That's more of a personal gripe though. If it doesn't matter to you that much, then more power to you. But that little capture does not ruin the capture mechanic at all. When you have a ton of things you could possess and there's only one that I don't like, you've made a good gimmick. However, there is one issue with the controls that many people have complained about to death. It doesn't bother me personally, but it is still an issue. What is it? Say it with me now. The motion controls. This game heavily encourages you to use the motion controls to use Cappy's mechanics. There are additional ways to throw Cappy, like swinging the Joy-Cons up or down to throw Cappy in those directions. If you want to do these moves, you either have to shake your controller or switch, which is unintuitive and uncomfortable, or use the motion controls. There are other ways to do these actions, but they are ultimately more sluggish to activate than the motion controls. Like, instead of throwing Cappy down with the motion controls, you ground pound, wait till Mario stands up, then press Y. Like I said, it's not a huge issue for me, but it's something a lot of people have complained about, and I thought it was worth mentioning. Alright, now that I've talked about all that, I want to get into this. Presentation, sound design, and atmosphere. Now, on a graphical standpoint, this game looks great. It's nothing mind-blowing, but it is still pleasing to the eyes. It's clear this game is going for a slightly more realistic art style, while still keeping the cartoony but charming Mario style. What I mean by more realistic is everything getting more textures and details. Grass, rocks, hills, architecture, hell, even Mario himself actually having hair detail, and actual textures on his overalls. It's a good mix that creates a nice looking game. Of course, resolution isn't the best, with it being 900p at highest. That is more due to the system hardware, considering the Switch can only go up to 1080p, plus with this game trying to go for a smooth frame rate. Of course, 900p is still good looking and decently clear. The frame rate runs at a smooth 60 frames per second. The only times I've seen the game lag was in New Donk City, and even then there were only slight hiccups that lasted less than a second, which is good. There are obvious shortcuts to make sure the game runs well, like pop-ins and faraway shortcuts, and they do their job well. Personally, I prefer performance over a game looking like Lord of the Rings, which is why I'm okay with some of the shortcuts this game took to make sure it ran smoothly. If we're talking about environments and atmosphere, Odyssey really takes advantage of it. Every kingdom brings something weird to the mix. The Wooded Kingdom has a lot to do with gardening, Cap Kingdom sets off a more magical vibe and is more ominous thanks to the more dark color-like surroundings, and has music that sounds like it came from freaking Disney! Each place in this game has its own music and look that really sets the mood for where you are. I like how in the Wooded Kingdom there's this place below it called the Deep Woods. It's very dark and sets off a bit of a creepy vibe. No music, just the sounds of nature. Then you hear footsteps and Mario shaking, you wonder what it could be, and all of a sudden, the motherfucking T-Rex! It's stuff like this that makes me like great atmosphere in a video game. I'm not saying in this case it's very complex, but for a Mario game to make me have a lot of wonder at times, deserves some praise from the developers. Character designs are great too. Like I commented before, each locale and enemy has some nice designs that make them stand out really well. Touching a bit on the presentation one last time, there are a lot of visual references to various Mario games in this title. Examples include a few of the costumes representing Mario's appearances in other games, like Mario 64 costume going back to the more blocky model from the game, or a costume representing this game called NES Open Tournament, which is a game I never even knew existed. Hell, the crew went fully out of their way to fully recreate the Mushroom Kingdom hub world from Super Mario 64, just to please the fans of that game. It would have been even more incredible if people didn't freaking leak! But I digress. Last but not least, I want to talk a bit about the soundtrack. And I love it! Like I commented before, each track for the kingdoms represent each wonderfully. I like how beautiful the music for Lake Kingdom is. I love the Japanese-like sound of Bowser's Kingdom. I like the old Western-sounding music of Sand Kingdom. The music helps give the kingdoms their own personality. If there was one track from a kingdom that I really didn't like though, it was the one in Wooded Kingdom. I don't think it sounds bad, but it kind of reminds me of music I'd hear in a grocery store or something. That's just due to personal taste though. Hell, even the music that have nothing to do with the kingdoms are still pretty jazzy. There are familiar themes of older games and brand new music, once again highlighting this game mixing the old with the new, even though every Mario game does that. Of course, for the first time in a mainline Mario game, there is an actual vocal track called Jump Up Superstar, which is a very catchy song. Like seriously, every time I listen to it, I just want to dance. There's also another song that plays during the game's finale called Break Free, Lead the Way. Like Jump Up Superstar, it's a very good song and always gives me chills every time I'm replaying the game's finale. Fun fact, the singer of these songs was Kate Higgins, the same person who voiced Tails in Sonic Colors to Sonic Lost World. Neat. Overall, the presentation, atmosphere, and music help give this game personality and just add to the quality of Odyssey. Oh yeah, and the boss fights you do to get multi-moons are okay. The fights with the Brutals are very easy, but there are a few bosses I like, such as the one with the out-of-place dragon. Sorry I don't have much to say on the bosses. For some reason I always nearly forget to talk about them in game reviews, and I don't feel like finding another way to fit them into the script somehow, so deal with it. Well, honestly, I have nothing else to talk about. If I could describe this game, it would be a celebration. A celebration of how far Mario games have come. Odyssey does many things to improve on things from previous games, the graphics, the controls for the most part, the mechanics, etc. Plus, I just appreciate the lengths Nintendo went just to make the fans happy. They didn't have to bring back the open world formula, but they did, and it's still as fun as ever. They didn't have to bring back the hub world from 64 and have moons to collect there, but they did it. Plus, this game is just really fun in general. Best example of that is the finale. Oh my god, the music, presentation, you can play as freaking Bowser! I know it sounds like I'm a huge fanboy, but I'm sorry. I love Odyssey. It's one of the most fun video games I've ever played, and I will always cherish it forever. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I think in some ways, this review was better than the Sonic Forces review, though I think it still has a few issues, like, I don't know, like the way it's structured sometimes, especially like with the bosses at the end. I just kind of put them in last minute, but I think this was like a little better than the Sonic Forces review. In terms of what videos are coming up next, I might do like a quick review of Paladins next, which is a hero first-person shooter, and then I might do a review of Smash Ultimate. I also might do a video like reviewing Nintendo 2018 because I do have some stuff to say on it. And I'm thinking about doing a podcast about the new Sonic movie that's coming out, and oh boy. But yeah, I'm thinking about that. I'm not sure if I'm actually going to do it, but I'm planning on it. So yeah, thank you for watching this review. I hope you enjoyed this, and more videos are coming in the future no matter how long they take to come. So I am terrible at ending videos. Bye.